off the 40K Ork Community's Deffcember challenge is Weezer69 with the Deff Skull Rocker and the Grot Whalers. This double denim-cladded musical maestro stands atop his mini-stage, sporting a lovely paint job. Say what you like about GW's latest golf rocker model, but Weezer certainly has done him justice. And although I doubt the ability of those grots to catch such a large fish, the whalers do look smashing, or should that be, crashing, as they provide percussional support. I particularly like the bandage on the cymbalist. Look out, Big Nose! Those cymbals are gonna hurt. Next up is Bugger the Ugly. Really? It's not their fault. Well, each their own, I suppose. With Breast Mistress on Tyrannosaur, Juggeth Erotica on Deff, Destroyer of Worlds. My, what a wordy title, but it does crowbar Deff in there, so totally valid. Bugger has put a cruel boy warboss on top of a large insectoid tyrannid, which apart from quite putting me off my evening meal, must be a terrifying sight to behold on the battlefield. Just look at that fang-filled maw, and a beautifully atmospheric paint job to boot. Next is Collis, with their Death Skull Storm Boys and Bonebreaker. I just love how dirty and grimy these boys are. They really do look like they've been through the ringer. Now you may be wondering why a Bonebreaker is in a Deffcember challenge, when it only has a transport capacity of 12, and the 10 Storm Boys take up 2 spaces each. It has a death roller, you fool! Tarsus weighs into the competition with their custom stomper with Deff Cannon. Despite looking like this chap is about the size of an egg cup, I have it on good authority that he is the size of an adolescent bison's head. Imagine that on your battlefield. There'd be flies everywhere. This isn't just the custom stomper kit from Forgery World. Sorry, Forge World. There's so much more work being done to it. The glyph plates, the Deff Cannon, the head, the eye. I really would like to see this next to a standard custom stomper, for a quick game of Spot the Difference for orcs. Disson Snowcoot comes up with his Deffcopters. Well, I must disagree. Disson Snizgoot. Taking the latest Deffcopter model from GW, Disson has complemented it with a superb paint job. Dig those checks, you groovy cats! I also particularly like the growling face on the fuselage. And here's another one. More intricate checker work really sets this off. But why can't we see them together, I hear you cry? Well, you can! Here they are! Happy? Tommy Glimbooter has came in with a Deff Dread. You can tell a good kit bash on conversion. When you can't tell, it's a kit bash or conversion. A split barrel makes great shoulder pads for this chap, and his claws have seen some work too. I also spotted my grandmama's radiator on his back, and I believe those legs come from the Wazbomb Blaster Jet kit, fantastically modelled in a homage to the classic Deff Dread legs, also available in the Kilcan set. An impressively grubby paint job too. Zoe Luminary chips in with a mining Deff Dread, sporting 3 brutal-looking drills. This stunning scratch build puts me in mind of Earthman Brick, and Zoe also seems just as capable of throwing a model together out of things they find around the house. The mining Deff Dread sports all 3 primary colours, yet somehow seems to achieve being bright and grimy at the same time. Could it be sorcery? No, it's paint. Next up is Slev, with his Death Skull, which I will pronounce Deff Skull, Warboss in Mega Armor. Not just the standard Warboss in Mega Armor, you understand, but Slev's done some rather clever additions. The horns, the targeting squig, the full-sized orc head, a greatly improved back banner, and a double shooter to boot. They also look to have given him some big old toenails, and a lovely paint job as well. Well done, Slev. Next up, we have Pipstar, and their fantastically themed, for the challenge, if not the actual release date of this video, Deff Killer Wartrike. With two large bionically enhanced mangler squigs pulling a sled crewed by Christmas orcs, Santa Claus, Daka Claus, Wather Christmas? I can just see this fantastic kit bash skimming over the orky junk piles, depositing all the Daka to the good orcs and grots. How can I see that? Because it's doing it! Isn't it? Look, man, look! It does also rather put me in mind of a pod racer from Star Wars, A Phantom Menace. Next, Simon Cy Thornton brings us his custom Deffcopter, which looks to be kit-bashed from an old Space Marine Scout land speeder. This beaut sporting everything an orky flyboy could need, an adjustable crane arm with a squig on a length of chain. There's a custom Mega Blaster, orky passenger hanging out the side, shooting away and hitting nothing. It's even got flames on the bonnet, for goodness sake. And it must have took a steady hand to add those kill markings on the front shield. I'd choose Simon Cy Thornton as a surgeon. Or maybe a gunfighter in the Old West. The Big Provolone 68_5. I bet that's not what his mother calls him. No, indeed not. Comes in with Zog Zog, aka the Gobbo of Deff. This marvelously painted little grot looks like he's walked straight out of the 1990s. Don't let his diminutive stature fool you. He's solid metal. He'll weigh more than your war boss. Armed with a shotgun and a box of tools, he looks ready to help out. He was certainly able to crowbar the word Deff into his name. Well done, the Big Provolone 68_5. The paint job really is very nice. Stomping into Deffcember is the Git Man, also known as Prude Hashberries, with his Deff Dread. Don't let the eye-catching color scheme of this four-clawed behemoth fool you. He may look like a walking advert for Nerf, but he's actually golf. And if you disagree, well, he'll probably pull both your arms and legs off and leave you on the ground as just a torso and a head, like some kind of weird sack of meat just sitting there bleeding and crying with blood and tears all over the shop saying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, I know you're a golf, look at you, oh, the pain. Or something like that. The Kitman's also provided footage of the left, the back, and the right-hand side of the dread to prove it's painted all the way around. Spiky Bits won't catch this fellow out, he's too smart for that crack. Finally, Morkak comes in with his killer can, which I'm calling a Deff Dread, because, you know, them's the rules. This stocky bloke's equipped with a large missile pod and a huge double-bladed chainsaw fist arm-type device. They have a myriad of scopes, lenses, and lights all around the front, all the better for spotting enemy and then blowing them up. It's another grimdark entry with a grimy, futuristically gritty look. And I've been reliably informed that this piece was designed and printed using 3D mediums by Morkak themselves. Well done, Morkak. You've really outdone yourself. The competition here truly has been staggering, and there's many, many worthy winners. However, there can be only one. So, before I announce the winner of the 40K Ork Community Deffcember Challenge, I'd like to give a few honorable mentions in particular. First of all, the Big Provolone 68_5, Zog Zog, aka the Gobbo of Deff. I really did enjoy this miniature. The paint job was fantastic. And indeed it took me back to a time when I'd run through the streets of Barton-in-the-Beans with my chums, getting up to all sorts of mischief. Well done indeed, TBPSEUF. I'm not sure if that actually shortens the name. The second honorable mention is Simon Cy Thornton's custom Deffcopter. Not only does it have a spiffing paint job, colourful with weathered elements, but it also includes such a large amount of detail in a relatively small model. Well done, Simon Cy Thornton. It's a cracker. And the winner of Deffcember is Pipstar with their Deff Killer War Trike. This is a fantastically sculpted miniature with an abundance of detail, splendidly painted, and it really does tell a story. Not only does it emphasize how late this video is in actually coming out, but it makes me feel all warm inside. Remembering a better time back in Barden-on-the-Beans as a child, waiting for good old Saint Nick to pop down the chimney with a block of suet, and maybe even whooping stick. Well done, Pipstar. You really should be very, very proud. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'd like to say you're all winners. But you're not. It was Pipstar. Goodbye!